The thing I love about antelope hunting is the amount of opportunity you're presented with. Antelope not only live in the wide open prairies, but they're up all day long. They don't go to bed in heavy timber or, disappear during the day like a lot of other big game animals do. And for that reason, it gives you all day to hunt them and multiple opportunities a lot of times. Well, it's our first morning of antelope hunting, 2016. A little bit different this year. This is the first year I've had a Montana rifle tag in probably, 5, 7 years, something like that. So, pretty excited about it. I've shot enough antelope in the state now that kind of looking for that next class on this trip. We've got several days here to be patient. We're seeing a lot of antelope. We've already probably seen 10 or 15 bucks. I'm looking at 3 more down here right now. Nice bucks too. We just haven't really seen anything that's a standout yet, so we're just going to be patient. And we've got a blind set up on a water hole that once it starts getting warmer, we might go set up on that and sit for a little bit. But right now we're just enjoying kind of covering all the different country, looking at the maps here, and just trying to get a good idea of what's around before we dig in too deep here. Like I said, we got plenty of time, and there's a lot of antelope around. Still in sight there, but just had that buck at probably 200 yards. There's actually 3 bucks in the bunch, and I hope I don't regret that decision, because that so far is by far the best buck we've seen. He's probably all of 15 inches. Had some really nice prongs and actually kind of some extra bumps and stuff right above the prong, which was really cool. But it's the first day, and I know the old saying goes you shouldn't pass up on stuff the first day that you would shoot the last, but I'm just not ready for my hunt to be over yet. And even though that was a dandy, if I have to go home with nothing, so be it. But that was a really nice buck. I'm already starting to wonder. We do have time though, and they're not very spooked, so it's about 3 o'clock in the afternoon, our first day here, so we're going to keep going and see what else we can see. That was a nice buck. Good way to start. Now, it's been a number of years since I've had the opportunity to hunt these antelope with a rifle. I've kind of really got into the bow hunting aspect of it. I love decoying antelope, and I love sitting at water holes for antelope as well. This year I knew I was going to be spending a lot of time elk hunting. With my work with the Rocky Mountain Elk Foundation and Project Elk, I knew that September's focus was definitely going to be in elk country, so the amount of time I would have to chase antelope would be really limited. For that reason, I put in for the rifle tag and drew it this year. So I was really looking forward to heading down to an area that I've hunted since I was a little boy for antelope, and just dig in, look over a lot of antelope bucks, and find the best one I could. Well, we finally located a really nice shooter buck here. He's about 600-700 yards out. You can tell he's smart because all of his does just came past us here and are right in the middle of the piece of property we can hunt. And this buck is just hanging back all by himself. He's right against the fence line. We can hunt the property, obviously we're on here, and he has pushed himself right up against the neighbor's fence line. So even though we finally found the buck we're after, looking at the Onyx maps here, we just don't have a play on him. I'm afraid he would get over onto the neighbors there before we'd get a good shot at him. So we're just going to leave him alone. In fact, he might have just crossed. We're just going to leave him alone and hope that he comes back over here. I think he did cross. Dang it. Why do they always gotta be right there? So I think we'll just leave him alone. Hope that he comes back over here by his does. But man, that's a nice buck. Really nice buck. After waiting him out and checking a few different areas, we came back, and lo and behold, the buck had moved to our side of the fence. The only problem is he was standing right in the middle of a wide open field. Hunt smarter with the new era of GPS. No matter how hard I tried or what angle we came in on, we could just not get within a comfortable distance of this buck, and he didn't seem to want to move. I was afraid that if we put too much pressure on him, it would kick him back onto the neighbors. So I decided the best thing we could do would be just leave him alone and hope he decided to move one way or the other. I have a lot of confidence in this area and a lot of history with it as well. I took my very first antelope buck not too far from where we are right now, and I took my last antelope buck not too far from here. And virtually every antelope in between was taken within a 50-mile radius of where we sit right now. So I was really confident that if we just took the time to look over a lot of antelope in the next 3 or 4 days, I felt really good about my odds of finding a good buck. Oh guys, it's our 4th morning here. One of the first antelope bucks we spotted this morning is that buck that we're after. The buck we nicknamed the V-buck. He's positioned himself out in this flat, just where he can see for miles. So we've gotten the truck as close as we can. We don't have to go far, and I'll be able to get a shot up here. We've tried sneaking on this thing for 2 days and can't get close. So they don't seem to be as scared of the vehicle, so we used it to cross this flat. Now we're going to push in the last little bit, but freaking excited. He's a dandy buck. Beautiful morning. We should have the wind in our face, I think. Really not doing much right now. It's waiting for that sun to build heat. It's gonna start rising. So we'll try to get this done before that happens.
Yep.
Hunt smarter with the new era of GPS. Down. Yes. Oh, yes. That's the buck we've been after. That's the V-buck. I could see that extra trash up there as he stopped and looked. Yes, made a good shot, had a good rest right across this fence right here. 250 yards almost on the nose and just knocked him down. Our last morning, in fact, we have to be to town in a few hours, but how many times does it work out on the last day of the hunt? And again, today. Beautiful, beautiful morning. Well, here's the buck, 2016, my Montana antelope. It's been an awesome 4 days out here in the prairie, hunting kind of near the Powder River in Montana. Been seeing several antelope every single day, looked over a lot of bucks. This buck to me just had more character. I don't know what it was about him. We've maybe seen bigger bucks, but I really liked, these extra points up in his horn. I like the way this kind of laid out and was a little squiggly. Just gave him some unique character, and Cassandra and I nicknamed this buck the V-buck. And we just kind of stayed after him, kept looking at other antelope, wait until the time was right. We actually put a sneak on this buck right over here, less than 60 yards away yesterday. And he gave us the slip, and then right as soon as that sun came up this morning, we were where we had left him, and sure as heck we spotted him. Made a great move in on him, and 250 yards put him down. But, it's just what it's all about. You come out here, set your sights, be patient, wait for the right opportunity, and eventually it'll come together, and it did on this buck, and I couldn't be more pleased. I mean, it's just got big old cutters here, prongs, whatever you want to call them, a lot of length above the prong, kind of this extra gnarl here, and he's just a beautiful, beautiful classic Montana antelope. It's just been a great season so far. Was able to take my biggest elk ever with the bow, and now this. It's just been what dreams are made of. This landscape never disappoints, and why I look forward to coming back here so much. This trip was everything I could have hoped, and I'm going home with the antelope that I set my sights on. That's a really rewarding feeling as a hunter, when you lock onto one animal and don't settle for anything less. It can be tough to do and tempting at times, but when you stick it out and you grind it out, you really just wait and make it happen when the time is right. There's really no better feeling in the world. Some people who travel by may see this landscape as barren and desolate. I myself, through the years of being here, see it as the land of opportunity.